has been a tradition that we do every year, showing the support for the ESGR. We thank you for the service and support that you provide for those in the Guard and the Reserves. I'd like to now recognize Dr. Rita Sablan to give her brief remarks. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, to the members of the House of Representatives. And from the Senate side, I see Senator Vinnie Sablan and Senator Hokuk and Senator Edith De Leon Guerrero. And of course, from Tinian, Senator King. Neighbors, or is it the other way around? Okay. Good morning, and thank you for having us. We're really excited of the opportunity to meet with you and to receive a very special presentation of a joint resolution recognizing the employer support of the Guard and Reserve. With me this morning, of course, I am the area chair, recently designated the area chair for the CNMI area committee for the ESGR. To my left is Rose Ikitol, who is the chair emeritus for the CNMI area. She served longer than me, even combined with the CNMI government service that I had. She served for over 30 years, right, Rose? So we're happy to have her here. Her role in the ESGR committee is employer outreach. And to her left is Joanna Kino, and Joanna Kino is also our ESGR volunteer, and she is our ombudsman for the CNMI area. And we have a few guests that have joined us for this very important event. We have Sergeant Manglonia, Staff Sergeant Manglonia, I apologize for that. And we also have from the Civilian Aid, Secretary of the Army, Mr. Mike Sablan, and who is also an employer here with Triple J. And behind me, we have our family readiness, Mr. James Kennedy. And you know the spouse of Rose Ikito, right? I like to recognize him because over the 30 years that Rose served in ESGR, he was always there too. And hua to the rest of our Triple J group and from the Office of the Mayor and the media that's present here this morning. Thank you so much for having us. ESGR is a Department of Defense volunteer organization, and we've been around for 49 years. Today's our birthday. And so we're happy that, you know, as we celebrate ESGR Week, not only do we recognize the volunteers for the work that they do in the community, but we're also very pleased and honored to really always have employers out there supporting the Guards and Reserve. The Guards and Reserves not only do have jobs as a weekend warrior, but they're also, you know, always ready to perform out there when called for duty. And in addition to that, there's a great sacrifice on their part, especially their families, as they see them off to go to their military obligation. And sometimes those obligations can last a year or so. And we've seen that here in the Commonwealth. We've even lost, you know, a few of our own service members to the conflict that has arisen in the past years. But as we recognize ESGR Week, it's really recognizing our employers that really values the support, the work, the effort of many of our service members that contribute back to the community or within their organizations as employees. And so we're happy for that. And of course, we also want to recognize our Guard members, our service members, because of the double sacrifice or all the sacrifice that they do. So as we celebrate ESGR week this week, we are going to be going out there to our community. Because of pandemic, there's been a suspension of major events such as the boss lift or the lunch with the bosses, due to, you know, just the social distancing that really must happen, or just not to have anything. So the national headquarters in Washington, D.C. Gave a notice out there that all events are canceled except for what we have on board now. And so this week, we're going to be honoring many of our employers that have been nominated by their service members for their support to them. Not only as a service member who goes off to the conflict or on duty, but also who does sacrifice a lot within their organization. And we should really be very proud of our employers that support the Guard and Reserve, because they have taken extra time to also care for them and their families. So with that said in mind, I want to thank all of you on behalf of the Guam CNMI State Committee, our chairman, Ray Lanetta, who is a lieutenant colonel, retired U.S. Army, our vice chairman, Benny Polino, Major General, retired U.S. Army, and of course our CNMI Area Committee for giving us this opportunity to be here and to have this forum, and for also to receive a joint resolution honoring ESGR Week in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sablan. Right now, I'd like to recognize Representative Vicente C. Camacho for the presentation of the House Joint Resolution, which was adopted by everyone on both houses, the House and the Senate. Chairman Camacho.
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I am honored this morning to be the presenter for the ESGR's Recognition Week. We have good reasons to continue to recognize and honor our servicemen and women in the armed forces, but most especially the volunteers that continue to ensure that this program is honored by employers. I also would like to thank all participants in both public and private sectors for their continued recognition and honoring of this program. Thank you, and with no further ado, do we have the plaque?
Yes, we actually do have the resolution ready up here, and if we can have the team join us up here also for this presentation and a photo op. Thank you.
Test. Yes.
Come on in, guys. Fill up the space.
Come closer.
Come on in closer.
Chairman, hold us a bit.
Okay, we're ready. This plaque is being presented as a whole. And I would just read the first liner of this plaque. Please come. 22nd Legislature of the Northern Marianas Commonwealth in the House of Representatives. HJR number 22-9, a House Joint Resolution to recognize and acknowledge the employer support of the Guard and Reserves and the Guam CNMI State Committee and their volunteer members for their exceptional service and commitment to our servicemen and women by recognizing the week of August 16th through August 20th, 2021 as Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve Week. Yay. And thank you.
Staff Sergeant. Mask off, yeah.
We have two
Yeah,
service members with us.
please. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Right here, right here. Members and ESGR team, we also have another House resolution that will be presented by our chairwoman, Representative Selena Babauta, which was also adopted as a whole here in the House to honor and recognize Mrs. Rose Iguito's time and service in the ESGR. So please, Ms. Rose, take center stage. Yep.
I'm getting something? Yes.
Yes.
This is a surprise.
Yep.
I said, well, go.
You're also a part of this resolution, sir.
I want to welcome everybody. Welcome to our CASA and our area chair, sure, Dr. Sablon, and all the volunteers for the ESGR. For those of you who do not know it, the CASA's civilian rank is equivalent to a 3-star general. So welcome, Lieutenant General Sablon. This resolution was adopted in March, but we wanted to wait for this opportunity to honor Ms. Rose Iguito. As Dr. Sablon mentioned, the ESGR is the lead program, DoD program, established in 1972 as a way to bridge the gap between civilian employers and particularly reservists and National Guardsmen and women and everybody else that falls under the reserve component, the IRRs, the TPU soldiers. And it is my distinct honor to represent Speaker Edmund Villagomez to honor Ms. Rose Iguito. Rose was born and raised in Saipan and resided as a young lady in the village of Tanapax. She currently resides in Kobler. And in 2003, Rose began her volunteer service with the ESGR here in the Sinamai. 5 years later, she was appointed as the area chair, the first one for the Sinamai, and the first female to be appointed as the area chair here by My husband's a former commander in the National Guard, retired Major General Benny Paulino. And Rose has not wavered in her dedication and support. The CNMI is fortunate and enjoys tremendous support from the ESGR volunteers who provide through their outreach a bridge to resolution conflicts, and through their outreach program, the USERA briefings and the boss lift, which I would like to have you guys start again because I want to get on that Chinook. But I want to commend Rose for her dedication to our reservists here. And on behalf of Speaker Edmund Villagomez, my colleagues here at the House of Representatives, and of course the Senate members, undang kluna sizuus maasi Rose for your many years of dedication to our reservists and our citizen soldiers here in the CNMI. You know, they say that volunteers are not paid because they are worthless, but because they are priceless. Thank you.
Okay. This is a total surprise for today. Actually, this resolution was a few months ago, but I guess she had a plan for this week. I want to thank the House of Representatives and the Senate for joining us this morning, and thank you for this very prestigious, I want to say, a resolution on my behalf. It's it's really just something that I feel I need to do. You know, at least is to volunteer to be on this committee, and it's the least that I can do for all of the sacrifices that our service members and our guardsmen, um, reservists and our guardsmen and women um, put through, go through to sacrifice for our freedom. And it's a very simple thing that I do. It's just to volunteer and help out. That's really all that it is. And also, we like to we continue to educate, of course, our employers of their rights and responsibilities, as well as the service members. I just want to, before I give this mic off up, I just want to recognize our friend Congressman Blanco, who has been an avid supporter also of ESGR, and in all of our activities in sports and all of that, he's always been there for us. So we miss him, and we'll continue to miss him and pray for him and his family. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Carlos.